I'm going to talk about Mission Iconic Reefs. I have the honor of representing this effort. This is a large restoration effort underway here in the Florida Keys, but it is important for you to understand that this is the inspiration, the work, and the dedication of a lot of people, many of whom are in this room, and I want to acknowledge their efforts and thank them for what they're doing on behalf of this effort. Mission Iconic Reefs was born out of the realization that we need to do more to address the chronic declines of the reefs here and the persistent threats that they are suffering. It was obvious to us that we need to do something big because the system was not going to fix itself. Reef managers like myself, reef practitioners, scientists, we all understood this. But this quote is actually from a member of this community, somebody who has nothing to do with corals, but lives here, owns a business here, and understands we needed to do something. It's time for bold action, and in fact, Reef Futures was a catalyst for this. Back in 2018, we all gathered. I attended, listened to all the wonderful talks, was inspired by all the great work that is being done by this community, and realized that we are not out of options, not out of ideas, not out of possibilities, and so we needed to do something. And Tom and I chatted the last evening of Reef Futures, and said, we gotta do something. So he is well suited for his new adventures to create the momentum for big ideas and big restoration projects. Tom, thank you. And so after Reef Futures, we gathered a few people in the community and said, hey, this is what we want to do. What do you think? And we were thrilled with the response we received. People said, yes, absolutely, we're in, rolled up our sleeves, and spent months preparing and planning. That resulted in a very careful and deliberate plan that articulated what we were going to do. What does it mean to do more in the Florida Keys? We identified 7 sites that became the 7 Mission Iconic Reef sites, articulated what we would do there specifically, and how much it would cost. We wanted to pick sites we felt would have a great chance of succeeding in this restoration effort and would benefit other areas around them, and articulated very carefully what we needed to do at each of those sites and how much it would cost. Part of what was interesting about Mission Iconic Reefs, I think, is that we were trying to take things to the next level based on all that we knew had been learned and all of the advances that were going on in this field. And we really recognized that we believe we can do more together than any one of us can do or any one of our organizations can do alone. And so it was about that collaboration, and it's about the full life cycle of restoration. So site preparation activities need to be carefully considered. And then, of course, more coral outplanting, growing more corals, doing so with genetic management in mind, recognizing that a healthy reef system includes herbivores. We have a component of Mission Iconic Reefs that involves supplementing those coral outplants with grazers. And then acknowledging that we need to really make sure we give those corals the best possible chance of success. We have an ambitious stewardship and maintenance plan. And as Scott mentioned, it's about involving the community in that effort. This is not just about the practitioners and the professionals, this is about bringing the community that is going to benefit from this effort into the tent. And then finally, our efforts to monitor the work that we're doing are also higher than we have done in the past, because we want to make sure we are taking very careful care of those corals and seeing how are we succeeding, where are we succeeding, and where might we have challenges we need to adapt to. I'm giving you the really high level of Mission Iconic Reefs. I want to make a quick plug for a session that will be this Thursday. You can hear a lot more about this. There is a tremendous amount of work that has been done on this effort. I'm really proud of all of the work that everyone has accomplished. You can hear a lot more details on Thursday. But getting back to the high level, our goal in this effort has been to create a sustainable reef, 7 iconic reefs that can thrive on their own, that are resilient, regenerative, and that can provide the ecosystem services that we depend upon. And, as Scott noted, that our community depends upon. So we launched this effort in December of 2019 with lots of ambition, lots of aspiration, lofty goals, and not one penny dedicated to it. And we estimated the first phase was $100 million, so not having one penny was not a small thing. But I'm pleased to say that quickly after launching, we saw a lot of growth and momentum, and some of the resources we needed started coming, which was really exciting to me and validating to me. It suggested that, yes, we have an idea that is something that people can get behind, believe in, and join us. And we're really thrilled to see a lot of people coming into this, new people, new partners, new ideas coming into the tent to help us with this effort. And we were bringing in new partners. You're going to hear from one of them in a few minutes. The United Way of Collier and the Keys was one of the early visionaries that saw that this mission, and United Way, that's not normally something you think of as an organization involved in reef restoration, but they understood that the benefits of this are not just to our corals, but it is to our community that they serve. We also were seeing other restoration efforts starting to be inspired by this, that we're working in other areas. We need restoration in more than 7 sites in the Florida Keys, y'all. So we're seeing people doing restoration in other places, and I'm really pleased about that. This slide shows you some of the dedicated groups that are a part of Mission Iconic Reefs. You can see it includes federal organizations, state organizations, nonprofits, academic institutions, private sector, other governments. So we have a really wonderful coalition that has gathered around behind this effort. I'm quite pleased that in the short time since we launched, we have seen really encouraging accomplishments. Have we fixed everything? Can't say that yet, nope. But we are doing, I think, really exciting work. Our restoration practitioners have been rescuing corals that are out and rescuing the genotypes that are out there. There have been genetics exchanges that are happening as a result to try to make sure that we are responsibly outplanting a great mixture of corals. And that coordination is part of the hallmark of Mission Iconic Reefs, and I think one of the accomplishments. We have set up the systems to help facilitate coordination, built mechanisms whereby we can track the work that everyone is doing so that we can really see how we're doing as compared to our goals and objectives. We are also bringing, as I mentioned, bringing in new partners, and there are other businesses that are starting to get behind this in this community, which is very, very exciting. We're doing a lot of collaboration and coordination that is resulting in learning from each other. And based on that, we're developing new products and processes that are benefiting us, but I also hope that they will be of benefit to other restoration efforts around the world. Not surprisingly, it hasn't always been calm, cool, and easy. We have had our challenges. I just mentioned that collaboration is one of our accomplishments. I would argue that collaboration is also one of our challenges. It is hard. These organizations that were out doing restoration prior to Mission Iconic Reefs, and they were doing a lot, they could just do it. Now we're asking them to come to the table and take a lot of time and effort to do that in a coordinated way. And I would venture to guess that every one of those organizations is taking that time and effort out of hide. Nobody gives you a grant to collaborate, not that I know of. And so all of that work, all of that collective effort takes time and effort, so that's challenging. Another challenge is the fact that some of our partners have a different sort of model that they follow. For example, some practitioners are doing restoration for the purposes of answering scientific questions. In other cases, the driver may be production, getting lots of corals out on this reef. Both reasons are good reasons to do restoration, but sometimes they can create sort of differences that we have to navigate. Another challenge from my perspective is the community expectations. You launch a big mission like this in the community, and everybody thinks, excellent, this is gonna be great, they're gonna fix it. They've got a silver bullet, and we all know that's not true. So we have to manage expectations. My concern, and Tom alluded to this, is that people will also think, excellent, they've got this solved. We don't have to worry about any other problems with our reefs. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary, while we are really committed to reef restoration, we are also working tirelessly to try to address some of the other challenges that have gotten us here. Water quality issues, and then I have to make a plug, forgive me now, for something we are doing that I think is really important. And as Tom said, we have to all come together behind more than just restoration. This is called a restoration blueprint, is an effort that the sanctuary has been doing for several years now. We won't count how many for those of you who know. But this is a comprehensive look at everything the sanctuary is doing to try to manage these precious resources. This includes things like changing our boundaries to add additional protections to important habitat. It includes changes to sanctuary-wide regulations that can address some of the threats that we're facing in the sanctuary. And importantly, includes new zones to try to protect special places, including, for your awareness, new zones called restoration zones. This is a new zone type that would protect nursery areas and outplanting areas. I'm telling you all of this because this is out for public comment right now, and we need your comments. It's not an excuse that you don't live in the Keys. This is a national treasure. It belongs to all of us. We do not have a backup plan B if things go to heck in the Florida Keys. Silence is not support. We need to hear from people. If this is what we need to do, these protections, these new measures, tell us. If it's not enough, tell us. If you have a better idea for what we're trying to accomplish, tell us. Please, we really do need your help because we need these protections to help your work here in your restoration to succeed. I am thrilled to be a part of this work. I'm glad to be here with you all this week for many, many reasons. I know that we all share a lot of hope, determination, but we also know that there are no guarantees to the work that we're doing. But I am so excited to be with all of you, inspired by all of you, because I see you all as visionaries. Visionaries that are willing to put in the effort, to be tenacious, to persevere, even without guarantees. So thank you very much for the opportunity to tell you about Mission Iconic Reefs, to be with you, to be inspired by you, and that's all I have.